What's going on, Rough Gutters? Tom Chatalbash here. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. If not, I'm here to make your day a little bit more bearable, a little bit more enjoyable. Here we go. Let's hope I get the job done. Now, during the Super Bowl, the TV spot aired for Super 8, which comes from director J.J. Abrams and executive producer Steven Spielberg. And after watching the TV spot, I was in a Cloverfield mood. So you know what I did? Oh, I popped in the old Blu-ray, turned on the surround sound, and had my mind blown all over again. Now, I think Cloverfield is one of the most underrated movies of, like, the past decade, to be honest. I mean, most people, when I talk about the movie with them, they say they hate it, and they give me such stupid reasons for why they hate it, and I'll get to those in a second. Cloverfield follows a group of friends who are throwing a going-away party for the main character, Rob, who just got a new job in Japan, and on the night where they're throwing this going-away party, a monster decides to just wreak havoc on Manhattan, and the group of friends are forced to stick together and try to survive, basically. Now, we've all seen this plot before, let's face it. I mean, we've all seen this kind of a monster movie with the same exact premise before. It's definitely not something, you know, very original. But I think the camera work and just the realism of it all really makes Cloverfield stand out from most monster movies. I mean, it's basically like Godzilla with Handycam and just 100 times better. And I'm talking about the Matthew Broderick, Roland Emmerich Godzilla, that piece of crap. 100 times better. Probably even 1,000 times better. Should I go the million? I'm gonna go 1,000,000 times better. Now, whenever I ask someone who doesn't like Cloverfield why they don't like it, they give me the same two reasons. And the second reason always comes after I disprove their first one. The first reason they always say is because of the camera work and how they hate how shaky it is and how nauseating it made them feel. And my retort is very simple. That's the big reason why Cloverfield works so well. The camera work. The camera work draws you in. It immerses you in the movie. It makes you feel like you are there with these people. Like you are running down the streets of Manhattan as a monster is tearing up shit right nearby. You are absolutely scared out of your mind, and that is key for the success of this movie. If this movie was filmed in your everyday kind of way, it would be nothing. It would be a piece of crap, most likely. The fact that it's filmed from the whole first-person perspective makes it feel so real and so plausible. And that really surprised the hell out of me because the premise, let's face it, is a little silly. And when people complain that it's shaky, how about you put yourself into the same situation where you're running away from a monster, you're running non-stop, and you have a camera in your hand. Do you think it's going to be still? No, probably not. No one just walks down the streets of Manhattan as a monster is destroying everything in its path nearby and just is keeping the camera still as they walk slowly. No one does that unless they are a moron. The fact that the camera's shaking and it's all over the place, it's real. It's very realistic. So after I school these people, when they give me that reason, they always laid this one on me. Oh, but it's so stupid. That's not a reason. Goodbye. Now, there are tons of reasons why I absolutely adore Cloverfield. Adore it. One, it is an insanely intense experience. I mean, if you watch this movie on Blu-ray with surround sound, I'm definitely recommending that you do that. It is unbelievably intense. I literally almost couldn't breathe during certain scenes. I mean, I forgot how intense Cloverfield was. I hadn't watched it in at least a couple of years. I mean, the movie delivers almost non-stop action, and it has a pretty low budget. I mean, when I was reading about it, it definitely didn't have like a Hollywood blockbuster budget, and yet it managed to do wonders with its small budget. I mean, there is so much in this movie that is just visual effects, very, you know, computer generated, but there are things that you never would think would be generated by the computer, and they are, and it just blows me away. I mean, definitely watch some of the special features for this movie. It's ridiculous how much is CG. The visual effects look flawless, and the design and look of the monster is so cool and so badass. And I love how they keep hiding parts of the monster throughout the movie. I mean, they never really give you like a full-on vision of it until like the near end. And when you do see the monster in all its glory, it is a sight to behold, and it is so awesome. And also the acting was surprisingly really good in it. All they had to do, all the unknowns of this movie, because up to this point no one knew anyone who was in this movie. All they had to do was just make their characters feel like real people, and they accomplished that very well, and I really liked all the characters in the movie. I was sad when a lot of them died. Also, the movie moves so fast. I mean, there is some downtime to deal with repercussions of certain situations or certain disasters that happen along the way, which I really appreciated because, you know, in a lot of movies that are just non-stop action, you don't get that downtime to kind of get to know the characters and to kind of feel for them. You don't get that, but Cloverfield manages to squeeze that in, and it's less than an hour and a half running time, so that was pretty impressive. And the movie just has some amazing action sequences. Just the way it's filmed, just the intensity of it all. I mean, there's a scene where the whole group of friends are just running down a block as the military is bombing the monster, and they have to dart to the subway. There's bombs going off, everything's shaking, there's rubble falling to the ground. It is so intense and badass. I really haven't seen anything like it since I've seen Cloverfield. It is truly one of a kind. And there are tons of scenes like that just come out of nowhere and punch you in the gut, but in the best way possible. Yeah. The only complaint that I have about Cloverfield is that it's a little slow to get going. I mean, I understand that they want to establish the characters early on and, let you get to know them a little bit, but it goes on for a little bit too long. I mean, I understood who the characters were. I liked them, enough in the first couple of minutes. I didn't need to see, 15 minutes of people talking at a party. That wasn't really interesting. But once the attack happens and everything starts to, unravel, it is one of the best movie-going experiences you will ever experience. So I highly recommend Cloverfield. To those of you who don't like Cloverfield, if there's a reason why you don't like it, besides the camera work and that you think it's stupid, let me know in the comment box below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I respect opinions that actually have some good backup info, Just putting that out there. Definitely see Cloverfield, definitely see it in surround sound, and definitely watch it with some people. I watched it with a couple of friends. It was intense. I probably should use the word intense a little bit more in this review. I don't think I use it enough, but that's just me. Cloverfield, do it up. That's my review for the Rough Cuts this week. Hope you really enjoyed it. You guys have an awesome Wednesday. I will see you next month. I know, it sounds so far away, but it'll be worth it. You guys have an awesome day. I'll see you.